Hey, it's Les from the TV Dudes. This week, I got to chat with Liza Treyger. You've seen her be funny on Adam Devine's House Party, Chelsea Lately, At Midnight, and much more. But soon she'll be on the Netflix series The Degenerates, coming out October 30th. We talk about what it's like to figure out your comedy set, the difference between just touring versus getting ready for a Netflix special, and the time she went too far on a heckler.
How are you? Glad this worked out.
Oh, me too. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I'm really glad it worked out. So, are you just right down the road in San Antonio right now? I'm in Austin.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I'm in San Antonio at a Red Roof Inn.
Swanky, that's great.
Yeah, but I got so drunk last night, and so I've just been dying all day. But I'll go look at some art tomorrow. And by that I mean the Lady Gaga movie.
So are you you're at the Improv? Are you doing sets at the Improv?
Yeah, sure am. I mean, yesterday nobody came, so I just went to Dave & Buster's, but hopefully I can perform tonight. Hopefully people will show up.
I had read that you got your start just having seen somebody at an open mic and thinking, man, I could do that. I kind of wondered, I mean, knowing how full open mics can get and stuff, was that something that you got on the list that night and came up right after that guy? Or did you have to dwell on this a week of like, I'm going to do it. No, I'm going to be sick. No, I'm going to do it.
No, I got to go up that night. It was in Evanston, which is it a Chicago suburb? It seems cooler, but there's a coffee shop, Caffeine, and it was not just comedy. There was like music and poems and stuff. And I went up that night, but I could barely do 2 minutes, and I was like shaking and turned red and stuff. And then I went back the next week and did well. Like everyone was laughing, and these guys were like, "Did you write all those this week?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I did." And then from then on, I did it every single day and never stopped, and like changed my major in college. Like that was it. I knew I found my calling or whatever. That sounds cheesy, but that's what I felt. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And I didn't even see it in a professional way. Like I didn't know what stand-up was. Like I didn't realize there was other stand-ups. So that week I did music open mics, and then the last one was a comedy one, and I met all these comics. I was like, oh, there's tons of people. Like I didn't realize it was even a thing you can do. So it's pretty fun how it's turned out.
So I always wanted, I mean, I know it wasn't just golden when you hit the stage, you know, with your whole act intact already. What about it appealed to you that made you want to just keep going back and improving and refining jokes?
Well, I like to talk. I talk all the time, a lot. So that was easy. And I always like doing presentations in school. So I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed all the people. Like, I'd never been around so many people that were, like, honest and dark and creepy and, like vulnerable in a way. You know, no one is suffering quietly, even though they might be. But, like, you know, you have a mental breakdown, we're all going to see it. And I kind of liked people that wanted to drink and talk and also not do anything. So it was all of that. And then joke-wise, I don't know, I was good at it. Like, I don't know if I can even put it into words, which sucks because that's my job, but I don't know exactly why I love it so much. But I love being able to prove points and talk about anything I want, and people like it. It's great.
I've read in an interview that or read in your bio that you're working on a set about your childhood in Chicago.
Maybe. I don't know. I do have jokes about my parents and stuff. They're not my faves, but I do them. I don't know what I was doing. I wonder why I said that. I believe it, though.
I always wondered what makes a more successful joke or growth as a comedian for you. Like, where do you feel like, if you feel like a joke has improved, is it getting deeper for you? Is it being able to make a joke out of something, maybe a little trickier, a little more personal?
Oh my God, dude. It so varies. Like, there are some jokes that literally you can do them once and you're like, this is it, and it works awesome, amazing, got it. And then there's this one chunk of jokes I've been working on for 3.5 or 4 years, and it's still not good, and I don't know when it'll be complete or how it'll fit. And then there's jokes that you, like, kind of forget about and you bring back. Oh, I have one pee joke I've been doing for, like, 7 years, and I can't. It's finally, like, good. Some jokes, like, you just have to have more experience and confidence on stage to pull them off, or, like, timing and rhythm, just, like, things you learn from experience. So there's some where the wording hasn't changed, but just my delivery and how I am on stage makes people laugh. Versus that, yeah, it all depends. And then it's just the order of the jokes. Like, some jokes work better up top or towards the bottom or following other jokes. Or if you say the same word twice, maybe it won't hit as hard. Like, I used to have a joke and the big punch was, like, furiously getting fingered. And if I sometimes saved it towards the end and had mentioned fingering before, it wouldn't work as much. And so it's kind of like, it's just a living constant puzzle. And even I recorded that Netflix thing, and, like, since then some of those jokes have changed and gotten better. I'm like, oh, I wish they were different in the special or whatever. So it's just constant, and it's different on all the jokes. And then some jokes I, like, once they're done, I'm done, and I never care again. And then some, like, I miss, and I like to, like, throw them in sometimes. So it just all depends.
Do you feel like there's themes through your jokes, or is that just something that you see kind of retroactively? Like, do you feel like you go through, like, phases of talking about certain stuff, or do you just kind of notice it later and, like, oh, wow, I had a year there where that kept coming up?
No, because it's been 10 years and it's all the same. Honestly, I talk about gender nonstop. It is overwhelming how much things piss me off with the patriarchy. So a lot of my jokes, the themes are like, yeah, being a woman and how I think men are trash. So that's been a long time. And then I definitely talk about, like, weed and sex and dirty stuff. Trying to think. I just talk about one thing, like, yeah, as things happen, I talk about them. Unfortunately, I think it's been the same themes for a decade. No themes have changed. And I know people are there to have, like, a good time and sometimes forget about it, but, yeah, all comics need to follow their heart and, like, talk about whatever they want to talk about, no matter what anyone says. A lot of times people are like, why do girls talk about sex? Why? Stop being so dirty. Ugh. And, maybe, like, I just have never been like, oh, people think girls talk about sex. I shouldn't. Like, that has never crossed my mind.
Yeah, it seems like you should just talk about things that happen to you or things that appeal to you and not worry about what other people would expect your comedy to be.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had just a pet joke that, like, I love this, it's going to rarely work, and I'm telling it anyway?
Yeah, but then I'll preface it. Like, if I know everyone hates a certain, I'll be like, okay, I know you guys are going to hate this, but I need to do it. Or after, I'm someone that's always in the moment. I'm not someone that's like, just joke, and then I'm done. Like, I'm chatting. So if, like, everyone hated a joke, I'll be like, oh, God, you hated that. Or, well, you're really going to hate this one. Yeah, I definitely, like, because I want them to laugh. I think I'm right. So I want them to laugh. So I'm going to definitely try it if I love it.
It seems like one of the big skills that just sounds really daunting about stand-up to me is like you say, that on the fly, reading the room, rearranging the set a little bit to try something different tonight or really get a bigger laugh. But when you're recording something like that Netflix special, you know that a lot of the audience is just going to be like one person on their couch at 2 a.m. or something. Was it different thinking about structuring your set?
Yes, 100%. It's a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, I wish I was more loose because they edit everything anyways, but yeah, you want to get an order down. I would not really do that. on a live show, I wouldn't care, like, if I did something up above or whatever, but, like, when you're recording for something, you want to make sure the jokes are leading into each other and, like, building, and it's a good, like, set to show. And because I get, like, kind of, I do a whole, I think it's, like, 15 minutes on Men Are Trash, and so I have to get the audience to like me before I do that. So before I get, like, serious, I guess, it's not serious, it's funny, but before the men can, like, if I go up and immediately start talking about, like, men sucking, they're not going to really listen. And so it's important for me to, like, do the first 10 or so minutes, getting them on my side and, like, tricking them into thinking I'm a guy's girl or whatever, and then being like, fuck all of you. So I guess in that way, yeah. Yeah, I had to think about it extra and where to put things and what works. Yeah, it was really hard. I quit smoking weed for a month and a half to get ready for it. Just driving, like, hours and hours, like driving 10 hours or 5 hours there and back just to do a 1 hour set to practice, like, in Syracuse. And, you know, I always perform a lot, but, like, really focusing, because usually, like, at mics or bar shows or if I'm performing, it's always like, I want to try new stuff. I'm going to do new jokes. I'm going to fuck around. And with this, it was like I was out every night just focusing on these jokes and just this order and kind of, like, making sure it was, so it's very different, 100%.
Can you talk about how the show came about? Did they approach you and just see you one night?
Yeah. Not one night. I mean, we've all been doing this for a while, so we all kind of know each other. So Joanne, one of the people that works at Netflix, like, she was the one that did my Comedy Central half hour years before. She was working at Comedy Central for a long time. And that was my first TV thing, was Adam Devine's house party. So I live in New York, and I've done stuff with Comedy, so I've known her for a long time. And so they're out to shows. Like, they're doing a good job. And then Robbie, who's also Netflix and comedy, like, he used to work at Montreal. Like, it's kind of, I don't want to say a community, but it's like we're in the industry, in our industry, so everyone knows. So they know who we all are, hopefully, or, like, can this person do that? And so they wanted to do these dirty half hours, and I'm pretty dirty. So I think that's how they thought about it. There's not much to it. I know some people might have had to send a tape it. You know, there's different processes for everyone. Like, I can't speak for all the degenerates that got it and how they worked, but yeah, Netflix was like, do you want to do this dirty half hour? And for a while I was like, I don't know. But then I'm so glad I said yes. And it was so fun and great. But yeah, it's just like, all of us have been working in comedy for so long. You kind of know a lot of people. So, you know, oh, he directed this and now you're there. Like, oh, didn't we work together on this, or we did this fest? So, if you're like producing comedy for Netflix, you should fucking know all the comics. And they do.
What do you think the biggest just misstep you've ever made on stage was, and how did you save it then, or how would you save it now?
Sometimes I've gone too hard on hecklers when they didn't fully deserve it. And I used to say something like, ugh, what, were you molested or something? You don't know how to behave? It really turns people off. And I would not do that anymore. And so, yeah, if you just go too hard on someone that doesn't deserve it, the audience is kind of like, all right, lady. One time in Austin, actually, it's a cool venue where there's, like, outside patios, too. You know what I'm talking about? It's really
there's several.
Cool. Sorry.
But yeah.
I know, there's so many fun places. I was doing a show in Austin, and these 4 people to the right of the stage, but in a row, were just, like, talking. They were just annoying the whole time, and I was going last, so I just watched them the whole time. They were taking selfies and photos of themselves. Like, they were just being so awful, and I went in on them for far too long. Like, it could have just been a little bit, but I was just disgusted. I was like, how are you behaving like this? And then it got really tense, and I got everyone back to laugh. Like, it felt so good. It feels really, I don't like doing it on purpose. I know some comics that like to dig themselves into holes and dig themselves out, but I don't like doing it, but it does feel really hot. It feels cool when everyone's, like, tense and you yelled at these people, and then you get them back to, like, laugh, and you end in such a fun way. but I think I'm more like relaxed and chill when I talk to people. Because a lot of times it's like I just have sensitive hearing, so this might not be trying to be rude, but like it really bothers me. Like it's not like what hecklers don't get. It's like you're distracting me and I'm doing something, and it's not about you. Like get over yourself. Like I can't hear, or like I mean I can hear you, and so you're messing with my brain, and I can't focus. But I'm more casual and chill about that. A few weeks ago on stage, I said something, and then I compared it to slavery, and it was silent, and I immediately went, I take that back. That was 100% wrong. And the host was a black dude, Mike Yard, and he went up on stage, and he was laughing so hard at me. He's like, I've never seen someone take something back so quickly in my life. But I, like, immediately knew it was the wrong thing to say. But in the moment, you know, you're a little tipsy, and you're like, bah, bah, bah. I'm trying to think what else I regret. That's such a good question. Yeah, I think that's all. You know, the other regrets, and, you know, you don't want to live in that space in your brain. You want to grow, but, like, when you're in your head or you think too much and you don't listen to your gut. When you do when you do jokes because you think that's the right thing to do, or, like, the right venue. Whenever you don't listen to your instincts and your heart and kind of, like, be in the moment and think too much is when I'm upset. And I always don't do well. Like, getting nervous doesn't help me. So I regret the times where I would let, like, my nerves and anxieties in my head get in the way of, like, having a good time.
Speaking of you know, kind of staying in a particular headspace, stand-up comedy seems like a very tight-knit, you know, family of the folks that are doing it every night, that are hitting the open mic nights. And is it hard to get yourself out of that bubble sometimes of a lot of people who are all focusing like this? Do you ever find yourself having to, like, okay, I need to be away from this for a minute? Or does it really help feed your own introspection like that?
Such a good question. Well, in the beginning, when you start, like, you have to be doing it every day, constantly, like a maniac. Like, if you don't have that drive, then if you don't get that excitement and drive from the beginning, like, why are you doing this? Like, you want to learn how to do it, and you need to be doing it constantly. And then with time, I think it's so important to hang out, go to dinner, go to a friend's thing, go on vacation, take a week off. Like, I think it is so important. What I like to say is, like, I want to do this for the rest of my life, so why wouldn't I go to London to have fun? Like, I totally believe in, like, I used to miss events and friends and family things just because, like, I needed to perform, and now I'm at a place that I'm so lucky that I can perform every night, and people want me on their shows, and if I message someone last minute, they'll throw me on, and it feels so good, and I don't act like I don't appreciate that, but, like, yeah, some days it's nice to have a day off or watch TV or be like, you know what, I'm not going to put in this weekend, I'm going to go to a party. I think it's really important to have a social life and have, like, a world outside the clubs 100%. Like, I see some of these boys, like, they really don't have a lot out of it, outside of it, and their jokes show. You have to, like, experience life to be a human, and then to be able to share the human experience with people. Like, you're going to stop relating to other people when you're not. That's why, like, comics so often start doing all these airport jokes, because we're always in airports, but it's like, other people might fly twice a year. Like, you just forget, you know, and not that, like, the airport jokes can't be amazing. Obviously, Rory Scovel, and, like, I don't know, but
yeah,
you don't want to lose being, and you want, like, a life. Like, I want a partner in my life. I want to be married. I want to see the world. I want to be a good friend. I want to have holidays. I'm going to take Halloween off. 5 years ago, would I ever take Halloween off? Absolutely not. But I can now, and it's nice. But I do want to say most of my best friends are comics or, like, writers and stuff. So it's not even so much of getting away from, like, comics, but the work. Because I want to say, like, 90% of my friends are comedians or, like, married to a comedian or comedian. Yeah.
Comedian and adjacent.
Significant other. Yeah, so, like, my best friend Sabrina, her wife is a stylist, so she's my best friend, but, like, I wouldn't know her without Sabrina, you know, or same with my best friend Julia, her boyfriend Lane is a comic, but I knew her before him. But yeah, I'm friends with a lot of comedians.
You've said in interviews that that you didn't grow up idolizing stand-up comics or working on your sets at Halloween when you were 5 or anything. But what does a best career path, look like to you going forward? Do you have a kind of idol for what you'd like your career to look like post Degenerates?
Mm-hmm. I have like a 15-year plan in my head for sure. I want to be able to do stand-up all the time. Whenever, like, that seems like the ultimate dream for people to be like, yeah, come perform. Like, that's so cool. So I'd like to be performing all the time and do stand-up, and then I'd like to be producing and making things and writing movies and TV shows and stuff, and have both of those. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of, sorry. I was going to try to think of an example, but they're all like separate. Like, I can't think of someone that does it all in my brain right now. But yeah, I want to be able to make stuff and do comedy and dress well.
Oh, I can't wait. I think it's October 30th that Degenerates hits Netflix, and I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you. It's so nice. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. And these were really good questions, so thank you very much. Bye.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast and a member of the Electric Sweater Podcast Network. We are exclusively listener-supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/TVDudes. You can like us on Facebook and Twitter at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is by our friend and original TV dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith. To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com and electricsweater.com. I'm Grant Davis. Thanks for listening.